Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today I want to talk about wireless headphones. And I want to discuss and save people the trouble of doing a lot of research about these kind of items and this particular style of headphone, because I wish that I had. And it would have saved me a lot of time and trouble and a little bit of money as well. I received these Solo 3 Beats as a gift. I was very excited and still am quite excited about these headphones because they're great to use with my phone. I can connect them to my laptops, and it's a Bluetooth enabled device. So the way that it transmits information from the signal source to the headphones is via Bluetooth. Very common. Everybody has these in either earbud form or in the over the ears like this at this point in time, or most people do. And the thing that I got excited about when I got these headphones was I was thinking I can get rid of all the wires, all of my other headphones, and get rid of the wires in my studio environment because I could just use these. And of course, when I was just, experimenting with listening to playback and doing some tentative, kind of like even some YouTube stuff with them, I thought, oh, well, this is going to be a great solution for me. Until I realized that the latency that's inherent with Bluetooth technology rendered them useless for things like tracking, like when you're, playing along with pre-recorded tracks and you're multi-tracking in your DAW or whatever kind of recording system that you're using. And I realized that the latency was just, it makes it impossible to try to use them for that. The other application I tried them for was one of my Conversation with Kevin videos where we get on a Zoom call and we discuss a topic. I threw these on and realized that I was hearing the delay once again in the headphones from my speaking voice, so I could, you can hear your voice inside your head and the sound coming through the headphones. Kevin sounded great, but I had that slight delay in there. And that's just inherent with Bluetooth technology. You're going to experience at least, 100 milliseconds to 200 milliseconds of delay. That's a common range for latency depending on the devices that you're using and the kind of computer system or, sending device that you're using. So I discovered quickly that these just weren't going to be the best solution for those applications. What I decided to do is I thought, oh, well, if I buy a dongle or receiver that I could plug into my interface, I thought that might help mitigate the latency issues. And unfortunately, that did not really solve the problem whatsoever. So I went down the internet, rabbit hole and looked for, are there wireless solutions for, studio use for musicians? And what I discovered is that there are, headphones that are designed specifically for those applications. There's a company called AI. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, I, or something like that. Anyway, they make, they have a whole different receiver system that's based upon the 2.0 gigahertz, wireless transmission system. And those supposedly, and I have never used them, have about anywhere from a 10 to 30, 40 millisecond delay. And most people who review those devices say that that type of headphone has an imperceptible delay. However, I read an equal number of people who say that there's enough there that while you're tracking and trying to play along with your tracks, if you have your amp or your sound source in the room, and for those of us who play guitar especially, or acoustic guitar, you're going to hear the instrument in real time, and then you will detect a little bit of that delay when you're trying to track, which can be very distracting. So, what is the ultimate solution to going wireless? There is none, in my opinion. And what I've ended up doing is I just have to plug this into my headphones and use it as a wired device when I am tracking or if I'm monitoring in real time where I can hear, the voice in my head or whatever, because wired is still the only way to really eliminate the latency issue with a headphone or any other kind of in-ear monitor. So the ultimate solution is you're going to have to wire them. I want to save people the time and trouble and the expense, because those headphones that I mentioned earlier that work on the 2.4 gigahertz technology, those start around $350. And if they still have a perceptible delay in them, I would say avoid them until the technology catches up. I would think at some point in the Bluetooth universe and in the other transmission system universes, there will be some way to do a makeup or some sort of, using a piece of software or an app that will eliminate the latency issue. I would imagine that that would be technologically feasible at some point in time. At this point in time, it is not feasible. Also, if you have Beats, the standard cables don't work. You have to buy one that fits specifically into the jack, because it has such a low profile that this type of just standard connector doesn't quite make the connection. So that's another thing to beware of. And also, do not buy a transmitter dongle. Those things solve nothing unless you just want to plug it into an old school home stereo system and be able to monitor. Now, what are the pluses of wireless headphones like this in the studio? When I am mixing or I have all of my source material already created, I can use this to monitor. That's perfectly fine, and for doing mixes and things like that without having the wire attached. So, just putting this video together for everybody out there who may have a pair of these or has experimented with it and wondered, oh geez, is there a way around this? And there just quite simply at this time is not a way around it. All right. Well, if you've watched the video to this point, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. Shares are also greatly appreciated, and comments. Is there anybody out there who has used, a non-Bluetooth or alternative wireless system, one of the high-end ones, in their studio? And tell me what kind of results you're getting. Do you feel comfortable with it? Do you detect the delay whatsoever? I just find that for myself personally, that is just too distracting when I'm trying to really nail down the perfect take. All right, you take care, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.